Okay, hello, good evening everyone. Welcome to Chit Chat Ang Moh 6. This is the sixth time we are on live on Google Meet. So today we have Akak Prema. She's going to talk about language arts and life board. Okay, life board. So welcome Roger. All right, so Akak Prema, over to you.
Hello, good evening everyone. Okay, welcome to tonight's session. Literally everybody know it's going to be related to language arts and very much into, I would say, another form of what we call it literature. All right, before we start this whole session, we're going to have some guessing game on. Hi, Roger. Okay, is that a costume or the app on? Okay, can we start with Ina? I know Ina has something on.
Okay,
So maybe,
Assalamualaikum. Good evening. Can you guys hear me?
Clear.
Yep.
Yes, right. I'm gonna give you a clue. Yeah, ready, guys? Okay. The better to hear you with, the better to see you with. So who am I?
Oh,
From which story?
Big Bad Wolf.
Riding Hood.
Riding
Very good. You wanna try the
Oh,
costume?
okay. Riding
Ah,
Hood.
camera on. Camera on.
Camera.
3, 2, 1. Ready? Where is my camera?
I said wolf.
Suspense.
wolf
Sabar. Hey, where's my camera?
Hey, where's the drum roll? Must have a drum roll
Yeah,
before we
that's
start.
right.
Where's your camera, Ina?
I should call Somraj up with his drum. What
I turn on my
happened?
camera, tak nampak lah.
Did the wolf go
Sometimes dia
Little
lambat.
Riding Hood?
Can I can lend you my tummy cup. You can hit on it, and then it's the drum that you want.
Okay, while Ina is looking for the camera button, let's go to Azia. Hello.
Wah, diorang ni prepare betul
Hi,
ni.
Azia.
Okay, hi. All right. So mine is I am a type of a family pet that is sometimes known as
Wait. We just saw Ina. Wait, Azia, wait.
Oh, you look good.
Itu beli kat mana tu?
Yeah, nice.
wow.
This is for year 3 literature. I use this for Little Red Riding Hood.
Oh, okay.
I can see you, Roger. You wrote that. Can you see?
I can't see Ina actually.
Ooh.
Clear.
Nice.
Very nice.
Okay, Azia pula.
Okay, now Azia.
Oh, all right. Okay, so I'll continue. I'm a type of family pet. I'm a type of a family pet that is
Alright.
sometimes known as a feline. If I get into an accident, it's okay because lives I have 9.
Cats.
Yes.
What
you're
cat is that?
right.
Pussycat.
Cat.
Cat.
Okay.
Oh.
Azia can turn on the camera.
Meow.
Okay.
I think there is a mouse.
It's not
Really?
a mouse. It's cat.
It's a cat.
It's a cat.
Cute.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Okay. I'm a bit, worried about Ina's costume there. It reminds me of werewolf already. Alright. Okay. Roger, are you?
Hello.
Roger.
Hi,
Yeah. Are you in any costume?
mine is very simple.
All right.
I'm
Give us some.
yes. All right. I'm a pet in the house,
All right.
and sometimes my
Roger hilang.
Roger.
hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lost
Yes.
it for a second.
Oh, sorry. I'm a pet in the house, and
Okay.
sometimes my curiosity puts me into troubles.
Cat.
Again.
Cat. Meow.
It's okay. It's a male cat.
It's
It's
a
a
male
cat
cat.
again. It's a cat again. I thought it's a dog.
How
Ah.
many cats here?
Ooh, meow.
Yeah. Okay. So, are you in any costume then? So.
No, Akka, I don't have anything.
So, all right, it's all right. How about Pan Yu, Miss
it's
Tay, and others who are online with us tonight?
No, I don't think. Sharon cepat.
Sharon.
Dia Sharon diri dah ada costume, dia ada shot.
I have no costume. What do you want me? The only thing is that guys will get a shock of their lives. I mean, my
Alright.
shorts. That's
So-
sexy costume. Haram for these two guys. If no guys, I would have
We give them some shades to wear. All
Okay.
right. Okay.
Thank you.
Now
Ada you want to take photo?
it comes to my turn now. Okay.
To take photo of the
I'm going to
costume?
start with this view.
Okay, oh, alright.
Namaste. I come in one of the stories that is in the literature component for primary school students. It's definitely not a poem. It's not definitely a poem. Very much an Asian country. And I greeted you with the greeting, Namaste. So what story do you think it would be?
The primary school
Level-
teachers better start choosing,
Yeah,
whether you all
because,
know literature or not. This one, Paul Molisa is giving
Yeah.
PPD marks, You are not answering her. Secondary is quiet,
Okay,
is
give me
okay.
another clue. Another clue is definitely not graphic novel.
Oh. Cepat Roger, apa
So
jawapan?
you should
I
know
don't
the three genres in literature, our language arts component for level 2. So I don't
Wizard of
Taja
Oz.
kot. Ni taja kot literature.
It's not graphic novel.
But it's
not graphic
Namaste.
novel.
It's
It's not.
Namaste.
It's not poem.
Akbar's Dream.
Asian country. No,
Is it
not
Akbar's
quite.
Dream? No, okay. Asian, no?
Yeah.
Could you please repeat what you
It's
call the
okay.
clue again?
I just started the greeting with Namaste, and as an Asian country, of course. And it's during a festival. I won't say it's a
India?
festival, it's a function. And
It's like a wedding,
it's the
right? It
first
is something.
king
It is something like a
to
wedding
fly
where
in the-
yeah, it's like a kite, the king of kites, I guess.
Yes, that's right. So I got it.
Thank you. All right,
Wow.
The king of kite.
I forgot your phone.
but it's about
I'm
king
not
of kites
thinking your
where
phone.
they
It's not fair.
where they're gonna have like a wedding.
Okay,
I think so, and then something wrong with the baju, and then they take like all the kain
Okay,
percha and then in
so
the baju.
I'm in the traditional
Oh.
Indian wedding kind of
Oh,
costume.
alah.
But the lighting is
Wow,
not
but it's
really
quite
good.
dark, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, the lighting. I don't know. I've
Oh
been
my, you look
to the
pretty.
left, I'm shifting
Like,
to the
yeah,
right.
lighting. Yeah.
Have you tried all the lights? You on the whole
I
house punya
want
light?
everything. Because I'm in the bedroom, it's quite dim and romantic. Sorry, excuse me for that. All right. Okay, so I'll just proceed to the slides. And first of all, the first half I'll be sharing more on the language arts. I'm not going to go into the what do you call the perspective of the history of language arts or contemporary literature and whatnot. But I'm going to focus more on the activities that you can carry out. Because throughout our language teaching, what is very much is focus is we conduct the class. We want to see the end result, which is people's able to answer exam questions and score. So since exam is chopped off from the buffet, and now what we are looking for is still achievement. Okay, just a couple of days we had a meeting with our PIBG EJK. The parents just cannot sort of chop that part of teaching and learning off. They are still very much exam oriented. They were concerned about how the assessment actually will show the achievement of peoples and all these things. And along the time, we teachers, we are so bound to do assessment now. We sort of forgo the part of fun learning, the aesthetic part of the language. I come from convent, okay? So basically, we had native teachers, okay? So Reverend Mothers and nuns and all those things. And they were like, we never felt the pressure of learning the language. We had a mix of composition. We had Malay students, Indians, Chinese, and many more. But we never felt the pressure. Language was always the fun subject that we will be like very eagerly waiting. But I think along the way now, it become too rigid especially when you say it's English language, children sort of like turn away. And so our parents, except those with background of good English and those who have exposure to language, and they are quite okay. But the common group that we are managing, that which is actually comprising the major group, actually they sort of like shy away from the language just because it's very rigid. Okay, we have literally taken the fun part of the language, and we have become, even though not exam oriented now, but it become assessment oriented. So just to share about these things, because especially language arts is not a desk component. That means when I say it's not a desk component, it's not for the child to sit at the chair and desk and write and answer and all those things. I will just share whatever that we basically would be doing. Maybe some of the activities you might have been conducting or doing it in the class, but I just want to change the perspective of written, paper, pencil, and to something that you have hands-on and where they can literally move about and do it. Okay, so let's go to the slide. And when I'm presenting, if there's any questions, you can always stop me. Okay. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that, there won't be any hiccup throughout the presentation, because all this while it was all internet, which was not cooperating much. Okay. All right. Okay, let's start our chit chat. Can everybody see the screen actually?
There's no slide yet, right?
Yeah, no
Yeah,
slide
yeah.
yet.
We can see the screen, but the slide is not on yet.
Okay. Okay, I can see the slide. Let me do it again and say.
Never mind. Do not click twice. Then it will, because it will take some time for the slide to come out for us. Okay. So you have to wait for a while. Okay, let's just everybody off their cameras right now. So everything will go to her.
Okay. Any slide can be seen now?
Okay,
Yes.
coming up. Yes.
Coming. Yes.
Okay, nice.
Finally. All right. Okay. All right. Let's start our chit chat today. Okay. So we are going into our language arts zone. Well, you see, even the screen itself, I don't have everything organized. Comes to language arts, you don't need to be a perfectionist. You don't need to be very rigid about everything. It just let it flow and enjoy that moment itself, right? Okay, I'll just run through quickly about this. For me, I think all of us have been exposed to this, whether we are in secondary or primary. Okay, the early foundation of literature as a complement to the English language teaching and learning in Malaysian secondary school. Okay, we can trace back the history back to 1989. If you ask me, literature was all along there, even back when I was in primary school. Okay, so don't ask my age, please. All right. Okay, the inclusion of literature in the Malaysian ESL classroom is clearly articulated in Malaysian primary and secondary, that we know in our DSKP and our syllabus and the documents, the official documents. Everything has been included, and now under CFR, it has been given much emphasis. All right. Okay. I don't want to go very deep into the content of this text, but I just want to pick up a few important key points here. Okay, like we call it CCL, Contemporary Children's Literature, okay, which is now taught during our language arts lesson. All right. So we have different genres: poems, short stories, and graphic novels. Actually, there's more to it, but as far as primary, secondary is concerned, this is the basic thing. But I know there's extension for secondary. All right. Okay. And the key word that I would like everybody to focus is that we want to explore this text, okay, and these genres to create the main word there is fun-filled and meaningful activities. If there's no fun in literature or language arts component, and the lesson is conducted, it's like exam-based or any language exercise-based activity, then you have taken away the joy from learning language arts. And what if it is really a fun lesson, but it did not bring you to the perspective of achieving the particular skills or the learning objectives? So definitely it won't be a successful lesson as well. So how to achieve something fun-filled activity, and at the same time we don't want this activities to derive something that is not meaningful at all. Okay, so there is two things that you're going to juggle: fun, and of course it has to reach the goal that we are having in that particular lesson. Okay, and another important word here is the exposure to the aesthetic use of the language. If you talk to children nowadays, or even most of us adults, it's like when you ask, how are you? I'm good. Okay, fine. There's no expression. We have like, over the time, we are losing that expressive part of us. I was jokingly, sharing this, and we were talking about this with my son. And I said, we are actually going back to caveman's time. You know why? Those days, they could not, or not to say could not, but they were not articulating anything much as a language. So it was like using signals, smokes, and so on. And the second phase was where they started drawing images, and that kind of things to communicate. But now, as we have progressed so much, I think we are back to the caveman style where we use emojis, emoticons, and so on. So the language part of expression doesn't happen. Even just, for example, if you send a message through your WhatsApp, okay, you send in a content that you understand differently, but the person on the receiving end will be receiving that message, will be comprehending that in a different perspective. And that could create so much of confusion, misinformation, even a tense situation. All right. So this is where we are lacking the aesthetic part. Okay. The another part that I would like to focus on is we want the children, especially primary school or whether it's secondary school, the children, especially the weaker ones or those who have a very limited ability to understand the language, to learn through all this planning, organizing, producing, and performing creative works. So it's not all about language. Is not all about, okay, I learn, I spell, I write, and I answer. Okay, I managed to sort of like able to learn the language. Sometimes you notice a child can do a very good written work, but when it comes to the part where you need to communicate, they find it very difficult to convey things or to relate things. Okay. So another thing is that we don't want it to be a plain black and white paper. Or we just been a little extra nice by adding some colors to the worksheet, but nothing much than exam or written based kind of activities. So we want the imagination to flow, the interest and creativity. I had OKU students in my class, a special need child, and who will actually hide inside the cupboard all the time. So to bring him out, I did not find any other ways, and I couldn't understand how to bring him up. But I just can't teach the whole class having him hiding inside the cupboard. He'll go into the cupboard. He's very small size. He'll pull the door from inside and he will be making odd sounds. Okay, so what I started with was some jazz chant songs, and the door slowly opened. And then when we had some other activities, and he was coming towards the front seat and started asking the friends, Tanya teacher, I want to do Sayana Pun. And he doesn't know much, but he started involving. Then from there's a lot of progress in him. So this is what we are looking in our language arts part. Okay, so I'm just taking year 4 as an example. All right. Okay, there are genres that we were talking about. So the main 3 genres that we are going to look into is poems, the short story, and the graphic novel. Okay, all right. So I will focus on the year 4. Okay, all right. So we have graphic novel, short story, and poems. So when you talk about the differences between these 3 genres, graphic novel, we have the whole novel with different setting in the whole prenup, the publishing. We have panel, we have, blurbs and all those things, all right? But short stories, on the other hand, we don't have that, okay? But in a general perspective, they have the plot, the setting, the characters, the themes, and so on. So that are the general things that connect them, all right? Okay, and when we look at poems, we have the basic one that we are doing in school from primary, secondary. But in my former school, I've tried even haiku and shape poem and so on with the children. And it really, really sort of created a very interesting environment for them to, get involved. Okay, we'll look at the... All right, now let's spin the wheel for some fun activities. All right. Okay, I think my wheel didn't go spinning just now. All right, okay, a short tour of some fun language activities. All right. Okay, this is book jacket. Okay, so every time when you look at any book, you have a cover page. Okay, and the cover page is not only the front page, it's inclusive of the back page. And the general information that we can find, I can literally go on teaching, only on the cover page as long as I can. Because as the way that you create the activities just on the cover page, and it can vary, okay? So the first part here, when you're looking at, this is the plain form of it. This is very much guided for the children to sort of like, those you think they need full guidance, okay? And on top of that, we can just supply them with some notes and so on where they just pick and fill in. Okay, this is just a blank one. And when you'll be surprised when you ask these children to come up with their own illustrations or their own version of the book, and some of them who hardly could speak in the class, and you will be amazed of what kind of book cover page they can design for you. So it'll be very, very interesting, okay? This we have done, and usually I'm talking about my former school. Sorry, I have my colleagues here that come from the current school. Former school, I've been there for almost 18 years. The current school, I didn't have much chance to do anything because we went into MCO mode, all right? Okay, so what I'll do once they have done the cover page and all those things, I literally had the string outside the classroom because we always have notice boards in the class, but only when people come into the class, they're able to see. So when you do it this way, I'll have the string outside the classroom and I will actually hang it, like you have a cloth peg and cloth line and you're hanging your clothes there, and it will be there for a couple of days. So then I'll change another few batch of it, to give that kind of, pride in that child that, something that I've done has been shared with others. So we will have during recess time, the children from canteen will walk all the way to the front class there just to look through. And some, they don't really read, but they look at the titles, they look at the pictures, So this is one way of it. And these are templates that you can give if it is level 1 or children who are really, really who needs full help and that kind of things. This is where they are able to do on their own. So you see the progress is like fully guided, semi-guided, and then if you start seeing that after sometimes when you talk about book jacket, the children will know. So they are able to come up with their own ideas. And this book jacket needn't have to be done individually. It can be a group work, pair work. You can have group challenges and so on. And if you don't want them to drag too long, you give them a time. You set a time and you say, okay, whoever the first three groups to finish, yours will be hung outside, and that will be actually very exciting for them. Okay, this is called book jacket. So if you are doing your science topic, your maths, and whatever, any topic itself, okay, you don't have to do book jacket, you can do topic jacket. Okay, this is something I came up with. Okay, so you don't have to do book jacket, you start doing topic jacket. So you will have info on the topic and all these things, like if you're talking about living things, so you can have a book or a topic cover with whatever that is necessary for that particular concept. All right. Okay, we'll go to the next one. Okay, so far is there any question? Can everyone hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
It was
Listening.
very quiet. I was just wondering, did I just, my line was like that all this while. Okay. All right. Thanks, all.
Welcome to the online classes.
No, if I had a perfect line, then it's fine. But it's like, so used to the one that goes missing. All right. Okay. I'll continue with the character traits GO. Okay. So this is actually, the GO is abbreviation of graphic organizer. You can come up with any type of graphic organizers that you feel might interest your children. Okay. It's not for primary school student alone. It can be used even to secondary. Okay. So again, this is very guided and very simple character traits graphic organizer. We give them the guide word, and to be more guided, if the child needs that, we can have words given on the board or even cards with guide words for them to choose. Okay, says, under says, you will have a few words for them to choose. Let's say this is Daisy. Okay, what Daisy says. So we give a few words, and then when they know the stories and all those things, and they can pick up and sort of like fill up in that particular box. Okay. It doesn't have to be only for novels, short stories. Even for secondary school, when you have drama, when you have what you call the other components, poems, and so on. If you have like the Bumblebee poem, so we can actually transfer that to here and edit according to the need and the ability of the children. Okay, and this is more colorful. If you think the children needs more of visual representation, so I'm very much visual kind of person, and I love colors. Okay, but sorry to say, I'm a person of black and white, but I love colors. So it's like, when you have pictures and colorful sticky notes and all those things, this is very interesting. You don't have to do it on the paper itself. What you can do, you can lay out a big picture or something on the floor, and you can get the children to move with their sticky pad to come up with the character traits. Okay, and those who are carrying the same character traits, like the one in the center, there's this particular thing. Okay, if you're talking about certain things, certain adjectives that you want them to go to the left, you can just tell them, and then to the right. If it is about the feelings, okay, you go to the left. If it is about what they think, to the right. So it will become interactive and also hands-on, where they're moving about. Okay. Okay. And this is another part of it. Okay, where it's more detailed. The early stage is basic. This is a little detail, and this one is considered for those who are in the advanced level and more. Okay, so outside and inside. So the physical traits and the personality traits Okay, this is more in depth. Okay, this is how we sort of like glide from something that is simplest to something average and something that is more advanced. Okay, I'll move on to the next slide. Okay, this is another favorite thing that we used to play. You know, I don't think the youngsters do, but we did back then. Cootie Catcher. All right. So very simple to do. It's not only where you are actually helping the children to use their psychomotor skill. Children literally nowadays they are lacking. You will be complaining a lot about their writing, handwriting, but when we look at the reality of it, seldom they touch pencil after school hours or if it is not for lesson. So it's literally touching, clicking, pointing, and that kind of psychomotor skills now. So that's why they are lacking on this and they are slowly lagging away. So when you have this kind of activities, Cootie Catcher is very interesting, and it can be done individually, and you can manipulate this for literature and also our language arts component for primary school, from songs to jazz chants to what you call character poems and so on. So like here I have included here character description. You can have the main character there with a name, and when they open up the Cootie Catcher in the center, they will have the description inside. So like how we did just now, we started the session without sort of turning on our camera. We gave the clues and you started guessing, then only we acknowledge the answers. So this will be one of the interesting way for them to learn language arts. Not only language arts, you can implement this throughout any subjects and any activity. In fact, for science, for maths, you can have multiplication done, your science concept done throughout this. Okay, and comes the story. Okay, the plot, the setting as well can go in this. All right. Okay, I'm very sorry. Actually, I have a lot of my children's work from the current school, but since I just had my internet done, I couldn't transfer all. So this slide was done much earlier. Okay.
It's okay, no
All
problem.
right.
Now just asking about that Cootie Catcher.
Cootie Catcher. All right.
Ina, I tak ingat kalau Melayu ada ke nama apa? I tahu I pernah main that.
Yeah, I didn't know it was called a Cootie Catcher. So.
That's why. Sharon, you panggil apa? You panggil apa, Sharon? Itu time kita.
I don't know. I said chut whatever lah.
I think there is a name for that lah, Madam Molly, because when I presented for some sort of program in Penang, memang I use this for my innovation.
Okay.
So for LNS. But there is a certain name for this. I forgot already. I'll get to know later lah. Bahasa Melayu banyak apa dah?
Penangkap kutu.
It's quite ancient actually. Then that should be
Penangkap kutu.
Okay. So definitely, I think we have some homework to do on this then. Thank you for bringing that up, Melissa. Okay. This is another interesting one, and I really love doing this in the class. Constantina Book. Okay. Your Constantina Book, this is the basic one. This is the basic one. Okay. Start with the simplest, and then we move on with the difficult ones. Hardcover, we can have hardcover for it. And how long your Constantina is going to be depending on the difficulty level, or even if you have children with very limited ability, but you think you cannot have too many words, but you want more pictures and words, then you need to have more. Okay, the folds will be more. And this is the simple pocket size. You can make it as big as your big book. Okay, there's no limitation comes to size, the variations of it. You can even, okay, let's say the story is about the King of Kites. I can have the whole Constantina Book in the shape of kites. Okay, so, and then you can see that little string there. Okay, I used to do that. I will punch and then I will have ribbon so that they can open and close it as a book. Okay, And you can also have, the button with some rubber band. When you paste it, it's like a flip over lock for it. Okay, so we can have pictures, and if you're going to focus on vocab that you derive from any of the language art components, you can use this for vocab book. Okay, I did this before in the previous school as well. As I use it as a storybook, and I also asked them to come up with word bank book. I call it WBB. So word bank book, and they will carry this. So for every 1 week, they will be producing one concertina. So every lesson throughout the week, they pick up their favorite word, and they will put it there, and they will find the pictures. So for them to comprehend, oh, this word means this particular thing. All right, that is concertina, and concertina needn't have to be in book shape, and needn't have to be vertical. It can, horizontal. It can be vertical as well. So you can also use concertina for character traits. Okay, if let's say you want them to sort of like extend the activity to personal traits, their own personal traits, you can have their pictures, all right, and you have extension of papers. And if you want to make it even interesting, more colorful, and you fold it vertical way, and you have their personality traits written here. And if it is a story as well, you can have the main protagonist, or the main character of the story as the picture, and you can have even plots throughout. Or if let's say like graphic novels, you might have a few setting. So you can have even setting done this way. All right. This is about concertina. Okay. Another way, as I said, I promised that I would want to share how you can bring this from the paper to some hands-on activity. What I have done previously with the children before MCO, each child will have one story card. Is a huge A4 size, and literally is like they will hang it around the neck, and I will sort of mix them around after we have done the story for some time. They get to know the story. Okay, we are getting to the advanced level now, so I will mix them up, and I said, okay, by the count of 10 or 15, you have to find your order of the story. So they will run around and then reorder them to find the story plot. Okay, so it can be story plot, it can be setting, and so on. You set the rules for it. So, and that will actually transform the mere paper pencil activity into something hands-on for them. And you will realize they tend to understand more when they do it hands-on rather than, paper and pencil. When they write and draw, is also hands-on activity like this, but it's very much desk kind of activity. So when they get to move about, and this will be very interesting, even this part of the character concertina, you can have the main character to wear the mask and stand as a lead in front, and then we will sort of line up the traits, the strongest to the weakest. So when we start counting, they will start going according to the story and which page, which section they found the character traits first, and they will align themselves up. Okay, so that is how you transform something that is paper and desk work into hands-on activity. All right, any questions so far?
This one is really, really interesting, the concertina. Okay, it's going to 9:15.
Yeah.
All right, so literature is more, what students perceive literature as a language barrier. Only that literature is susah. Okay,
Okay.
poems is susah. Cerita literature susah nak faham. Or they just don't want to read. But I think with what you have shown us, what you have given us examples of what to do, like the cover book. I like the cover book.
Yeah.
Okay, and about the story of the boy is actually memang betul language barrier, tapi dia nak dengar apa you tengah nyanyi, apa you tengah chant about, kan?
Yeah.
So yes, literature should be fun to be carried out, Ina cakap. Memang betul. But it's just that how we open it up to our kids, how we present it to them. Kalau
That's true.
kita present tu macam sangat susah, it's hard for them to get it, to understand, to actually maybe know about the story. Then for the rest of the life, dia akan cakap susah.
True.
Okay, but it's actually literature more on our everyday lives. Kalau dah sekolah mendengar cerita-cerita yang diorang literature text yang diperkenalkan, it's more on everyday lives. Okay, so my advice or my suggestion would be, you read the story or you read the poem and try to relate it to their life now. Even though sometimes zaman tu berbeza, but try to relate it so that dia akan ada satu idea, oh actually I boleh faham benda ni. Oh actually I can do this, Constantina. It's very interesting. Oh teacher hari ni bagi I guna colour. Anyhow I
love
want
it,
it.
yeah.
Yes.
They love it.
Actually secondary student, walaupun diorang tak bawa colour pencil, but if you spare some, and if you let them use the color pencil, they will be very, very
Yes, they
excited.
would love that.
Very
love that.
excited. Okay. All right. So you
I'll
want
move
to
on
go?
then.
Live one.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for the insights. Okay, this is another one which I call ladder climb. You can change it according to your needs. It can be word ladders, story ladders, vocab ladders, anything that you want to teach. It's not only fixed to language arts alone. You can actually spread this, throughout all the subjects as well. Okay, so if let's say I'm going to do some review or recapping on vocabs before I start a story or poem or whatsoever. So I could just use this word ladders. Okay, this is on paper. I'm not very keen in talking about this on paper. But as for now, since we are all conducting online classes, we have interactive ladders. I've tried that. It's just that I just got the internet done, so I couldn't transfer that here. Even the spin the wheel, it can actually, if you click on it, it will spin. So this is actually word ladder. So when you click on it, and it would actually have the words you can type in. All right. So you can have word ladders, story ladders. It can be for poems, short stories, or graphic novels. Okay, and story ladders are basically for plots. Okay, for the flow of the story, the outline of the story, and this one can be used even for secondary school. Okay, the same thing, same application that you can put it to is you have the students to move about with the words, with the stories, to sort of reorder the story, sequencing the story, rearranging the sentences or rearranging the words that comes in order as what is required by the teacher or the requirement of the learning objective that you have adhered to. Okay, this is about ladders, and I will move on to the next one. Okay, this is something that I truly love to do. Okay, shape poems. And I've done with year 6 back in the former school, and I've given the toughest one, even the weakest class. They were able to come up with so many colorful, and it was so creative, and I was blown away because when I looked at it, a child who is very passive in the English class, and suddenly, you can see that is the other side of him or her that was very creative. Okay, I had an autistic student, and he expresses a lot on this. Okay, so for beginners, this is what we do. We can give them the outline of the shape, and then they can have the sentences here. Even the sentences can be guided, where we give them a full sentence with omission of the words that you want to focus on. So the kitties today who are online with us, you can have this for your student. Okay. And when we move on to a semi-guided part, and this is what we're going to do. So we have some illustration there, some pictures, and the sentence can be guided or semi-guided. Okay. So if let's say they are very, very weak, we give them the sentence and ask them to rearrange. Okay. So here is going to be very simple sentences, and you can see gradually it is becoming a little difficult, a little advanced, and so on. And you, I think if you Google up for this gorilla kind of shape poem, you will be, having a dizzy moment for that time. It was so many sentences going all over, and the whole picture is about a gorilla, and is everything about a description about a poem about gorilla itself. Okay, so shape poem is very, very interactive. You can get children to do it even online, and you can see them, especially later when I share you this live bot thing. I'm not going to go very detailed in live bot because I think most of us have shared a lot of app which is very similar, but this is one that we can actually do. So you can actually see the children, coming up with the sentences to draw their shape poem. Okay. All right. So it's time to serve the live bot now. Okay. Before I go on to the live board, is there any questions that anyone would like to forward?
Anything? Anyone?
Anyone?
Tak ada. Dia orang duk cakap pasal bubur. Dia orang nak makan porridge dah, Kak. Okay. Just proceed je. Dia keluar dah.
Oh, she logged out, is it?
I think dia terkeluar.
Now when she stopped sharing, she would have hit the out.
And call or something like that.
Mana tadi Roger nak tengok telinga I?
Oh, I punya telinga.
Cepat.
Okay.
Oh,
I ada telinga. Ayo. Melissa. That's very cute.
So when I have an idea, I will do this.
Oh, there. Saw is there.
So, that's
lion
nice.
head.
So.
I like your lion head also.
So pakailah belakang sikit. Boleh nampak.
I'm Simba and my two kids are Asia and Roger.
ASEAN and Roger.
Hey, Ina, I have a suit,
They are not the cubs, they are the kittens.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Sorry hari ni kita habis lewat sikit, tak apa
No problem.
Okay je. Tengok, I suka lah wolf tu. We are his food. Yeah.
I have the baju, my mom sewed for me for my student for the drama. The overall suit with the tail.
Can we fit in?
No, you I think impossible. I can go.
Oh God, I'm too fat.
Maybe because of the height. The height is actually not enough. My ear sengit.
Roger punya ear so cute. It's yeah. Azia cepat pakai.
Kak Ina punya scary ya?
Itulah, takut weh. I pun takut tengok.
Ini takutkan husband kan malam-malam kan?
Try tengok malam ni.
Apa ni Sharon? Itu kalau husband dia tengok bukan takut, suka.
Nak tukar.
Record.
Madam Moni pandai, Madam Moni pandai.
Apa yang orang bincang kat sini? Dah makan-makan dah. Bagus, saya dengar dia ceramah tau. You orang aduh.
I
pakai Naruto jap. I pakai Naruto. Azia so cute.
We can multitask. We can multitask.
Sharon kena promote lagi. Letak phone number. I takut ada orang baru masuk dia tak tahu. Dia orang tak nampak. So again, siapa yang berminat nak jadi judge untuk Miss Sharon Koh, sila contact dia. Dia akan letak phone number di situ untuk HIP Pentathlon punya competition. Okay. Mana Azia?
Help me out, who wants to be judges for Pentathlon? I'm like pleading, so please contact my number. Is there in the message box. Contact me. Leave your name, your school and your phone number. I will get the permission from Puan Molly.
I don't have
pandai.
for that.
Picture, kejap I nak pakai baju Naruto I ni. Nasib baik muat.
Buat Molisa selalu lupa.
So whose picture you want to see?
Aka, you should attach your picture there and everybody will join.
My picture? Wait, I must dress up like Premani and come then. I attach this picture, people say, ayo, don't want.
Sekejap ah. Dah jadi tak
Azia
tidak?
suka sangat Mickey dan Minnie.
Itulah, so cute.
So I
thought that-
remain as Mickey lah.
Every time I go to Disney, I'll buy one.
I tak beli pun, I pergi beli mug, you tahu tak? And I beli the 7 Dwarfs when I went to Disney. Okay, ready? Naruto nak masuk.
Wow, she has collection.
Yeah, this is what I'll buy.
Oh, Naruto.
Wow.
It's actually the full suit.
Anak you punya ke you punya?
Anak I punya lah. Takkanlah I punya. I terpaksa tanya dia macam mana nak pakai ni. So dia bagi tahu I dia tutup sampai sini and actually I'm supposed to have a grey but this one is a bling bling, nampak sangat I punya.
Nice one, they have a lot of fancy kind of things.
My second son suka anime, so dia punya dia ada poster, dia ada baju ni. Actually macam tu ha. Nampak?
Dia punya sock tu kat mana? Dia punya pedang.
Tak ada, I simpan. Tak ada betul.
Puan Molly, kitchen knife pun okey lah.
Tu adalah panas, okey? Panas. Jadi Dracula dah aku. Pian mungkin janji tak ada kostum. Aku rasa macam akak ni tak masuk dah ni.
Kak Ina, saya tengok Kak Ina tu, saya rasa panas ha.
Kejap, I stop dulu recording ya. Kalau dia masuk nanti bolehlah kita nak